Good morning, and I do hope that this finds you well. We have now entered the fifth week of lockdown, and we're still getting to terms living in these unprecedented times. And unprecedented times take all kinds of shapes and ways in which we need to adjust and discover and try out new things. This last week, I entrusted my daughter with a pair of scissors and let her cut my hair. Now, you might think that, trusting as I was, maybe I should rather describe it as brave, or possibly even foolish. How many of you are prepared to entrust another family member with a pair of scissors and let them cut your hair? Well, after all, I asked her to start cutting my hair at the back, thinking that if it goes horribly wrong, at least in a virtual setting and on recordings, no one would ever know. But there are other things that we can put our trust on that are not foolish at all, because there are solid, there are the given things that no one will ever take away from us. We can trust in the Lord. The Bible is full of examples, and we have already looked at the example of Moses, who led the people of Israel from Egypt to the promised land. And time and again, Moses had to trust in the Lord. As they were traveling to an unforbiddable landscape, the landscape of the desert, where provisions were really scarce, and their lives were dependent on finding food and water. And the whole story in the book of Exodus is a continuing story of trust and doubt and people falling away from their faith in God, rather trying to rely on themselves, but always coming back to the point, realizing that they needed to put their faith in God because only God could provide. We find many examples through the Old Testament and continuing into the New, where time and again we are called to put our trust in Christ. Christ who died for us on the cross and who came to life again and is alive and is with us and is around us. And we can put our trust in Christ because we have those wonderful, powerful biblical witnesses that tell us about what happened, their experiences, and that is what we can hang on to. Now, as I was thinking about the theme of trust, I came across one particular psalm, and you know by now my love of the psalms. And that particular psalm, I think, speaks to us as we gather today. It is Psalm 13, which starts off with, "How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I bear pain in my soul?" The psalmist wrote these words in the face of enemies. And I think we can say that we are all facing an enemy together, this pandemic that is threatening us all. And in all this adversity, the psalmist could say, "But I trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation." If we put our trust in God, hold on to our faith, are trying to be strong in our belief, we will rejoice in the salvation that God is bringing us. These are indeed unprecedented times, times in which we need to trust more than ever. Maybe even in our fellow human beings, but beyond all, in Christ. through whom we will have life. Stay safe and well, and may God bless you and your homes and all who live in them.